Hey, my name's Joe Lomax. I'm currently a second year BA film student here at Bournemouth University. I was asked to talk about how I'm finding university at the moment. Now, university for me has been a really interesting experience. Not only from like an individual perspective, but also from a kind of educational perspective, because university has a lot of opportunities that are open to a person, and it's surprising how many students just don't take on these opportunities and this extracurricular stuff in some ways, which I'm not talking about like clubs and societies. I mean, like, there's genuinely so much happening out there which is able to help with employability, help with international opportunities, all sorts that are kind of happening.
My name's Tim Burgess. I'm an illustrator and I studied at the University of Gloucestershire in Cheltenham. My big regret, I think, was I didn't take all the opportunities I could have. There were a few times where I need to practice my drawing more. I love drawing stylized, minimal and like cartoon sort of design, but what I'm not so good at is the realism. We did life drawing and I did the mandatory life drawing, but they wanted me to practice more, especially with like faces. And I was never good at that, but I did the sort of work that I needed to do. But what I do regret, which I wish I should have done, is practiced more with it. You practice more and you keep practicing, you're only going to get better. Even if it's failing, the important thing is to fail to then improve. And I do see that now, but I do wish I had taken more opportunity, because it's all there for you. It's all free, it's education, so take it.
My name is Shannon Gearing and I study professional photography. Photography is great and it's quite easy to get jobs, but at the same time it's really competitive. Like, for example, I prefer to do nature photography, and getting clients for that is very hard. Like, I've not had a single client for it. As opposed to some people in my course who do fashion and bloggers and weddings, they've had loads of people come up to them and say, to do commissions and stuff like that. So I am quite worried about that, because there's that huge competition, and if your work doesn't stand out, you're just going to be ignored. I like to set myself small goals, so like this year, and like I plan for next year as well, was just to try and get my own kind of clients. Most people use Instagram, and so that's a good way to get your work out there, and I really need to get on top of that as well. So that's another goal, to try and post at least once a week.
It's not easy being a part of the creative industries, and it's not easy being part of the film industry. You either go into TV, into videography, and you'll work your way slowly but surely, or you'll have to make those connections, which is partly the reason why there's offers of like placement years, and you need to attend film festivals more. There's all sorts happening that they recommend get involved with, because it is very much like you can be one of the most skilled people ever, but if you don't know people who can recognize that skill, if you don't know people who you can show that skill to, it's going to be very, very hard for that. And I think that's what my worries are in a way, which is, I've worked really, really hard, and I've really grown as a person and grown as a filmmaker, and although I'm not as creatively confident as other people, I've got very good people skills and I've got very good organizational skills. So I feel like even in like a production manager role, I can work really well with most teams. So I'm worried that when I leave university, I'm not going to be able to find that kind of work, or I'm not going to be able to have those connections and have to really spend the first couple of years just figuring it out.
Okay, my name is Josh Avery Cook, and I studied circus performance, technically at Western College, but it was Circomedia that had all the spaces and the teaching. I've been doing circus since I was 14, and from the moment I started doing it, I know I really wanted to do it. Like, as a kid, I was always really active, and this was one of the few places I went where they encouraged you to get up and run around and play, as opposed to sit at a desk and just not do anything. So I knew from pretty much the moment I started doing that I wanted to be on stage and I wanted to do circus, and there just so happened to be a course right next to my house for circus, so it was really easy. The worry is that while you're on the course, you have a lot of performances and like jobs just handed to you, because it's, you know, people get in contact like, hey, we can hire students to do this job for half the price, and they'll do it because they're students. That stops the moment you leave, and then when you leave, it's all, you have to negotiate everything and you have to do everything yourself. So leaving and finding jobs in circus is very hard because nothing's handed to you.
My name is Ewan, and I'm not currently in university. I was always someone that wanted to go out, you know, after college and get a job and be successful, and I felt uni would restrict me from doing that for a few years. And in all honesty, I wasn't 100% sure what I ideally wanted to study at uni. I didn't want to make the mistake of joining a course and finding out halfway through that it just wasn't for me. Being a young person going into work straight after college was quite a big change for me, and something I had to adapt to quite fast. Going straight into full-time work was a difficult thing for me to adapt to, and I feel like a lot of my friends who went on to good university had a lot of different opinions about it. A lot of them really enjoyed it, and you know, I sort of feel like it's a part of my life that maybe I've missed out on, maybe events that, you know, I wish that I could have experienced. You know, a lot of fun times, a lot of people make good friendships and relationships, and I'm sure a lot of work advances in university. But I also feel like there are a lot of people I know who have dropped out halfway through their course, not gone on to complete the course, and I feel like the financial problems that come with that and the time that it's been wasted not pursuing something and not sticking to it could have just been spent doing something else in particular.
In my group especially, because we're the largest group there is of 11 people, which I know doesn't sound big, but when the courses previously had like 6 people maximum for the final year, is a bit like when you can't get your work to stand out, you get forgotten.
I found lots of sort of jobs going and things like that, but it's just the level you've got to be at and the competition between lots of other people. I mean, creativity is such a big thing now, and it's heading towards that, I think, in the future, that everybody is on board with it and wanting more personal creative things. And so the hardest part is trying to get your foot in the door and trying to find people you know, and it is important to make those contacts any way you can. I mean, social media, I think, has been a huge help in spreading your name out, and just, I think that's one of the best ways to contact and find people.
Jugglers find it particularly easy to find work because you can put juggling anywhere. Like a bar might meet a juggler and go, oh yeah, would you like to come and perform for the night? We'll give you like 20 quid or something. Like, that's really easy. But someone that does like straps or Diablo or things that require tons of space and like an actual set and stage, that's really hard. For the stuff I chose to do, I'd say if 10 was the hardest, mine's probably like a 7 or 8 in difficulty to get work.
I have a slightly kind of more mature mindset, I guess, than some of my peers, and my attitude at the moment is, as soon as I leave here, I want to find work that allows me to build up to a point where I can be somewhat self-sufficient, where I can have my own place, afford most of my bills, maybe even own a car, and then have a little bit left over to pursue certain hobbies and interests that I have that aren't related to film, or in some cases maybe they are, and I end up capturing those with my camera. But yeah, at the moment I think my main worries are, when I leave, is the fact that it's a very, very, very saturated job market at the moment, almost an oversaturated job market, and it's finding out what helps me stand out from the rest and helps me kind of show other people, this is what I can do, this is what I can offer, and this is what I want in return, so please come and hire me. But that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.